You didn't say one this time. Good job.
I didn't say one this time, and it worked this time. Welcome to Nat19! For those of you that don't know what Nat19 is, and this is the start of you coming in, we are a D&D show that streams every Thursday night currently, and Saturday in the afternoon, if you are in the PST area. For some of you, it's in the middle of the night. And this game, in particular, is a Devil May Cry based game that we're going to be running with all these lovely nerds. Devils Might Surrender, the name of our campaign, is a 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons campaign run by us, Nat19, set in the Devil May Cry universe. It runs every Thursday at 5 PM PST. If you're watching this on the YouTube side, at the twitch.tv/Nat19 official channel, which everyone watching knows because they're on it. It does not follow the events of Dante, Virgil, or other inheritors of Sparta's blood. The game's in-universe timeline is between the events of Devil May Cry 1 and Devil May Cry 4. So between the locking of Mundus back in the Mali Island vault and before the events on Fortuna. The story begins in an area called Apom Capital City, a coastal American city built on the edge of Afune Bay. The year is 2025, and it is the early morning hours of Thursday, June 19th. The game opens in the interior of a place called Carpenter City, a sister city to Apom Capital, where several individuals, these nerds, gather around an archaeological gallery called the Old World Tour, where unearthed artifacts from a local dig site have been put on display. And that is basically all the information I'm going to give up front. There's a subsystem called Style Points, which I think I'd rather have us play. It'll be made clear how that works. One major thing going in for people to remember is we are using heroic rest rules, so when we take short rests, if they only seem to take 5 minutes in game, and if long rests take 1 hour, that is because this is going to be an accelerated game where leveling will happen relatively fast in the spirit of the Devil May Cry franchise. It also features some original content like artifacts, classes, a lot of monsters. Some of the players are unique, have unique subclasses, have unique races, and so on, and most ranged weapons have been replaced with a firearm equivalent. And that is, I think, basically all the preamble we really need. Get out of here, you. I was saying that to a picture. The thing I was reading. Not to any of you. Please stay.
I don't know.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Don't forget to ride.
All right. So, as we open the game, we open on, as I said, the coastal city of Apom Capital City, which is in wherever it happens to be America. It is currently effectively the middle of the night, 12:30 a.m. on June 19th, 2025. It is a relatively calm night. Relatively hot, in fact. You guys would know this city. Some of you live there, some of you are visiting, but you would know this city to be a place that has a strong tourism industry. It is borderline tropical, about as tropical as you can get without outright leaving America or going to Hawaii or what have you. You guys would be there's 3 major cities. New St. Cheshire, which is an area that is mostly townhouses, residential, there and whatnot. There's Apom Capital, which is the central area of the city where most of the main business is, as well as the center of the area's government. And then there is Carpenter City, which is a almost Vegas-esque area, which was constructed almost entirely to take advantage of the tourism that comes and goes from the area. They are collectively all known as Apom Capital City, though whenever Apom Capital set on its own, it will be referring to the central city. The area is surrounded by several large mountain ranges, 2 of which are known as Mount Yama and Mount Nishi, which are quite large enough that they typically are capped with snow even in the middle of the summer. And there's various islands that dot the bay. Beyond that, you guys would be Emmanuel and Gino.
Hi.
So, the 2 characters that I'm going to be addressing here are a younger man. How old are you? You're 13, correct?
Uh-huh.
A 13-year-old wearing a vibrant red coat, carrying 2 daggers on a belt, very large rimmed glasses, very Harry Potter-esque look to him, except far more bright-eyed and far less stuck under his his parents' stairs. Yeah.
Why does this child have so many weapons?
3. This young man with brown hair was wearing a very large witch's hat that is ridiculously oversized for him taking up almost half of his silhouette, depending on the angle he's sitting at. On one of his fingers, there is a ring dotted with several gemstones that surrounds it, and he has a gun. I'm gonna go ahead and share. I feel like that's an important character aspect.
Very good.
With him, very much contrary to the diminutive stature of young Emmanuel Locke, is a massive figure, standing head and shoulders above any you'd ever seen. What is your height again?
7'3", I believe it was.
Standing at 7'3", wearing what appears to be full plate mail made of a material that almost has a dark bark-like look mixed with metal and golden highlights on it. Not a scrap of skin seen through the entirety of it, wearing a blue mantle that covers most of his body with a large emblem on one part of it that features a rose with all white petals except for one prominent blue one. And carried up with him, he has a very large halberd that is larger than most people, as well as a greatsword strapped to his back, is this boy, Gino Angelo. You two, since I didn't tell you guys what you were doing, you would, at this point, be in the general area. I believe I talked to you guys about that you are currently on your way to the area you would know as Roland's exhibition, the Old World Tour, because you have been sent by an organization that you work with to head out and to investigate it, and not necessarily do anything to it, although your ultimate goal is to find out what is beneath it. This exhibition that you're being sent to is a old warehouse that has been converted into a 2-story, just general display of various items and artifacts that were found by Takumi Roland, the person who set it up. You would know there's a VIP section for investors that nobody has seen yet, and your interest comes in because these artifacts have a possibly demonic origin. And you are there to find it, uncover what's going on with it, and probably remove it when the time is right. So you would be walking through the streets of the Vegas-like area, getting off the last bus that is as close as you can as you head to the southernmost area of Carpenter City. Marilee and Nicolo, you guys were... Nicolo, you were driving Marilee down here because one of Marilee's clients about an hour before had said they wanted to meet up in southern Carpenter City. You wanted to look into the Roland exhibit on your own, so since she had to go down that way, you offered to drive her, and you both ended up coming around here. And when you got into the streets surrounding the exhibit, your car, not exactly the most reliable machine in the universe, sputtered to a stop, and you haven't been able to get it working again during that entire time. You've been trapped here about 20 minutes. The two people I am referring to are the first one, Nicolo di Bernardino.
Big Dick Bernardino.
Why don't you describe him? I think your description of him will be more interesting than mine.
How dare you? Nicolo is a rather large man. He is large and how you say in charge. Not really.
More like whipped.
He's a very large man. He carries with him 2 large machete that have lots of damage on them. They're very much used in a large rifle. He is dressed in his delivery boy jacket that he uses for the pizza delivery service that he is making his job. He has his long, somewhat down to his neck blonde hair. He has a permanent bitch face. And he is currently grieving for the loss of his car.
This man, who, to give a very tonal example of how he looks, is very much the halfway point between a Scandinavian male model and Ash from Evil Dead. And the other character, since I let him describe himself, why don't you describe yourself as well? With him is...
Well, her name is Marilee Injustice. She is shorter than her buddy old pal here, Nicolo, grieving over his car as she just stands or sits on the hood like she doesn't give a fuck. Obviously, like, this is gonna die at any point. But she is obviously shorter, about 5'6". Yes, 5'6". I mean, she also has her resting bitch face as she just stands there in her totally not Chanel fur coat, with her garter belt gun. Her like unnaturally bright purple hair. Totally natural, completely natural. She was born that way. She doesn't have much in terms of weapons. You're the ones that's carrying all the firepower. She just looks pretty.
Yeah, wearing, for the most part, a white bodysuit that is, ends just at her thighs, opens up to expose part of her chest, is largely comprised of lace. Very fine figure, someone that is definitely suited for the job that they have, which is that of being an escort and dancer. She's wearing leggings that are mostly black, that have heels on them, that at the top of them they fan out slightly just around her, just above her knee into a butterfly wing-esque pattern. She has gloves on that have a tiny cute little skull on the back of them. And yet has a fur coat on that is loosely draped around her shoulders, that it looks like it's made mostly of black leather and brown fur. And yeah, has a small gun strapped to the inside of one of her thighs, because you can never be too careful in this day and age. And you two are currently trying to mess with your distressed car. You are, by this point, definitely late to where you're going. And finally, the third pair, Fionnuala and Arden. How to describe the two of you? I think I'm just having fun letting you guys give a go at your
How
own.
about you put them on the spot, too?
I'm gonna put them on the spot. Arden, you're up first. Why don't you describe yourself?
It's time I pull out my reverse Uno card
What?
and have Logan describe it.
How
describe
does that even work?
To the best of his ability. Go ahead.
I don't think you understand who's in charge here.
I don't think you understand the power of a reverse Uno card, Logan.
I don't see a reverse Uno card in your hand, because I can't see your
Don't
hand.
worry about it. You gotta trust me on this. I have it.
It's there, I promise.
All right.
It's there, I promise. So go ahead.
Arden is a younger man with ginger hair that is made up into it's described as a pompadour, right?
Pretty much.
That's what that would be. Striking green eyes. He has bracers on both of his hands. He's not overly muscular, but he is well built. He's wearing green suit pants and fine shoes, as well as a white undershirt that is rolled up to about just at the end of his biceps, just above his elbows. The collar is open, and he is wearing over it a vest that has a fairly thick scale pattern running down the lot of it. And he is carrying with him a red glaive that has a blade that extends out impressively, about a foot and a half, 2 foot long blade on the end of it. And on his waist, he has several belts that are connecting that keep a pouch that he keeps on his hip, where there are several vials containing brightly glowing red liquid. Good job, Spencer. Great
Thanks,
description.
dude. I really played the Uno card
Nailed
very
it.
well.
Good job. Very well done, Spence. Proud of you.
Mhm.
We'll see how forgiving I am about certain things later. All right. And with them, Hayden.
Hello. With him is a teeny little red-skinned tiefling demon. She is 4'11" with long horns that might look kind of like an antelope. With bright green peridot gem-like eyes, a tattoo running along her arm, and she's got a little bodysuit underneath her big flowing blue coat. Does she need it? No. Does she look fabulous? Abso-freaking-lutely.
Mhm.
She has a katana that's probably a little too big for her, but most things are. High boots that are black with gold trim, and she's just heckin' cute and fabulous and teeny and looks very diminutive next to her very tall friend.
So you two have an interest in the exhibit that mostly comes from a gut feeling that Arden has been getting from nightmares that they've been having. You guys are on a 3rd-story roof on a top of a building across the road from the exhibit. You've been mostly watching it to see if anybody's going to try to break in or if any interesting figures have been going in there. You've been coming here and staking it out on and off for the past few days, trying to stay out of sight mostly, but just hanging out for the most part. About a week you've spent. It's been pretty uneventful up until now. I want to know just in general, you guys knowing what you're doing, you guys knowing the general time and state of things, the Vegas-like lights of Carpenter City off in the distance, off towards the section of the city where there's more actual business, which, by the way, you are far enough on the outskirts that you're outside the area that buses would even go. If that gives you a general idea of how far removed you are from the central excitement of the city. I release everything to you guys. What would you like to do?
Fix my car.
You want to fix your car?
Yeah.
How you gonna go about doing that?
Magic.
I didn't expect that, did you?
I want to proceed by not helping, but leaning against the car towards the road sexily, hoping that maybe someone can help us out.
He just pulls up. He just lifts up the hood. Freaking a plume of smoke comes out. It's like, I don't know what to do.
Claro que no sabes. Pues, I've got an idea. We're going to flag somebody down. I'm going to ask them for help. I'm going to flutter my eyes, and you're not going to say a word. Understand me?
There's a part of him that's like, I'm literally going investigating demon stuff, and you're trying to bring yourself freaking out to the open more. It's like,
Do you want your car
looks back to the car.
Do you want it fixed or not?
Just go do the thing.
Okay. I'm going to hope I get lucky. I'm going to show a little leg to the street and hope I can flag somebody down.
As you walk out, I would say you guys would have been, given where you were, you probably would have been taking some of the back roads, because you would have been, Nicolo would have been trying to take himself relatively close to the museum without going directly in front of it. As you go towards it, you don't see any cars as you move around and try to get back to the main road. You do, however, as you move around... Marile, roll me a perception check.
I double click it, and then there you go, 18.
18's pretty good. As you move away, Nicolo, are you going with them as they go to do this?
You said it was.
How far are they going?
Off of the street you're on. At the.
I grieve for my car for a bit and notice she's going further than I thought she was, and I'm following.
You see them walk off, Marile. You step over into one of the alleyways that leads between the two streets. Luckily, because of the ambient lighting in this city, it's never really particularly dark. There's always artificial lighting, even out here. So it's not like this alley has a creepy Alan Wake-esque total darkness vibe to it. It's like, you feel safe walking around, especially because you have a gun. But as you walk around and you come to this alley, you do see not a car, not anybody driving by, but on the other road, you do hear a vehicle stopping and the closing of a door. And though you can't reach them immediately, you do see the shadow of somebody with this large dog walking behind them, passing by the alley on the other side, moving not quickly, but with determination, walking by and out of your view on the other side of the alley. Assuming that you continue trying to move towards that general area, that's Nicolo probably when you'd see them leave and move away and leave the street and choose to follow them, though you can tell me if that's not the case.
And she'll keep going. She's already expecting him to be right behind her.
Those that are on the top of the building, so Fionnuala and Arden, you guys have been here for several hours by this point. I'd like to know what you guys are doing.
I imagine it's pretty chill. Like, you mentioned we've been up there for like a couple hours. There's like snack bags like all around, just them snacking and stuff. Like laid out a fucking blanket so we don't get dirty. Like.
Basically having a picnic. I imagine she's just kind of like sitting on the edge of the top of the building, just swinging her legs as she watches.
As you guys are watching Fionnuala, you find that you are, you're getting a bit antsy. Generally, whenever you guys are watching things, you find them not to be terribly exciting, and you've mostly just been sitting up on top of the building, eating snacks, like drinking soda or whatever you happen to bring with you, looking down at the building below, the uneventful building below. Occasionally, you'll see like the janitorial staff like leave a couple hours after everybody else, and that'll be the most exciting time. But for the most part, these have been boring, and this is no exception, so you don't really see anything, and you find yourself sort of zoning out. Arden, seeing Fionnuala sort of like kicking their legs on the side of it, you come over and you take a look over the side. Seeing the street below, initially there's nothing. Initially it's as boring as it's been, which is stressful and a relief for you found, because, well, you want to get to the source of what's causing these nightmares you've been having. You're also relatively fine with things not suddenly going south.
Yeah, I'm fine chilling. It just, I want to get to the bottom of whatever's happening, you know?
You don't see anything immediately, Arden. I'll point out that much.
This sucks.
Yeah, I know.
I thought your nightmare was supposed to lead us somewhere when we've just been staring at this stupid building and I'm bored. We're out of chips.
What out? All right. Yeah, I get what you mean. Well, I guess I'll go and get me more chips. You keep an eye out then.
Yep, I'll keep an eye out on the whole lot of nothing that's
And,
happening.
You got it. Oh, he's like, put his hand to his eyes, just sort of like, oh.
As you sort of massage the area between your eyes and do that, you have a brief moment as you turn where you think you see something out of the corner of your eye. You think you see like a shadow in one of the streetlights moving down below. And at first it seems like nothing, and you turn away, then you stop, look back, and you see that where there was nothing previously, there is a figure that is walking down the street with, again, a large dog at their side. But you notice that when this dog steps into the light of one of the street lamps, the dog seems to gives off this wispy, shadowy aura around it, as if the light's sort of dispersing it and, like, causing it to lose its form. Then as soon as it's out of it, it returns. The figure walking beside them, you can't tell much about them from up here, especially because they do seem to be remaining largely in the shadows cast by the buildings. They are wearing a long cloak, and they appear to be carrying some kind of very long instrument with them, which you could compare to the size of your glaive, almost.
Oh, fuck.
They're walking this segmented, feather-like cloak fluttering behind them as they're moving down. You also, around this point, roll me another perception check, just because. Okay, so you do not see the other two people that are following behind them involuntarily. But you see them move over towards and stop in front of the exhibit, turn, and I will note I've forgotten it again, Marilee?
Marile.
I'm gonna have to say it a million times on my own outside game, but today it's Marilee. Marilee! Niccolo!
Mary!
You guys turn the corner, start following just in time to see this figure, about a building or two's distance down from you in front of the exhibit. And Niccolo, you're the first one that clocks there in front of the exhibit you're interested in. You see them stop, put their hand out to the handle of it. They briefly try to pull on it, and it doesn't open. And as this happens, you see the large hound that is with them dissolves into their shadow, seems to wisp inward and disappears through the cracks in the door. You then hear the sound of something bending, and the door shudders slightly. And then the figure on the outside pulls the door open, no longer locked, and walks through.
As soon as I would have noticed he was going straight to the thing, I would have been like, Marty, and I would have like kind of like grabbed her and like pulled her over to the side, like, and then just started staring over there, completely forgetting that he was taking her to a job, because his thing is important now.
Por fin admites que estás enamorado.
I can't understand you when you speak that fast.
Never mind.
Those of you that are up top, specifically Arden, you also see the aerial view of this person trying to open it, the dog vanishing, and then the locked door seemingly coming open. And then this figure walking into the exhibit with an incredibly casual sort of trot to them. They don't seem like they're in a rush, and they do not seem like someone that is worried about being caught breaking into someplace.
Fiona, something's happening!
Oh,
Finally!
thank God! Okay, let's
I
fucking go!
excitedly point at what I'm looking at.
Gino and Emmanuel. Around this time, you two would be approaching the general area. You'd be able to see the area. You would arrive just after the figure entered into it, so you wouldn't see that happening, but you just come within, you'd like turn a corner and just come within view of it. You've been walking for about 40 minutes because, again, the buses don't come down this far. Noting that to get here, you did, Gino, have to take public transit, so you were yourself on a public bus for a while. Which is a great scene in and of itself. With that said, could you guys just describe to me what your travel to the area is?
Imagine after getting off the bus, we'd probably just march towards wherever the exhibit is.
I'm riding Gino.
Hell yeah, I'm carrying him.
I cannot walk as fast as him.
It's true. It's like a little piggyback situation, only you gotta watch out for them spikes.
My feet are tired.
I wouldn't know what that's like. So what's the play? What are we doing when we get there? Are we gonna let them let us in? Are we just gonna
pull out my gun.
You could do that. That's not a bad idea. So we just want to go straight for the intimidation tactics then. That's what we're going with?
We could go in the back door or something.
Just
You're
sneak
the
in.
adult.
I don't know how old I am, man.
Oh, well then I'm your big brother now.
Oh boy.
Anyways, yeah, we could like check the back door or something if we want to be sneaky. Although, yeah,
No,
we should
no,
go through the front door. I feel like sneaking is
I don't know,
a bit...
man. I feel like I'm pretty sneaky. I feel like I
back
can
door it
manage
is,
it.
alright, if you're confident.
I'm confident. I think we can manage.
You can blend into the shadows.
Oh, that sounds fun. Let's do it. And we move along.
Not, I've learned that I'm the straight man of this game.
Oh no! Oh no, it's too fun. Okay, so you guys are gonna go around and try to go in the back. Going around the back way, you guys basically, the moment everything starts to converge on the front, you guys happen to comically turn and walk towards the other road around the buildings. Just as several figures all emerge from the darkness. You guys come up to the back of the building where there is a door. There's a set of stairs leading up to a door and on each side of the door there is a large, like, you know what warehouse doors generally look like. A fairly massive,
Loading
like, set of
dock
metal
kind of
shut.
thing?
Yeah, loading dock. And there'd be some kind of mechanism locking the shutters as well. So what's your play here?
We're doomed.
I didn't think this far ahead.
Okay, I have an idea. It could work. I don't know what will happen, though.
What's up? Let's
Do
try
you
it.
trust me?
I trust you.
Okay, we need to go, like, a ways away, because I don't know what's going to happen here.
Okay, cool. Let's do it.
Okay, I point my ring, and I use it on the door.
You fire it, Gino. You see, as it fires, this display of colors, these various, like, prisms of light appear and fire towards it. They coalesce just on the door. They flash brightly in this rainbow dazzling display of light that you just kind of look at it like, oh, alright. Whereas, Emmanuel, you cover your eyes as though it's not, though it is, it ends basically immediately. You are temporarily blinded by the sudden change from pitch darkness into bright light.
I fall off, Gino.
Oh, no, jeez. Oh,
Did it work?
catch him. No. Was that supposed to happen?
Arden and Fionula. You guys, after seeing what happens in the dark, see a bright, arcane flash of light from the other side of the building that, given your angle, you can absolutely see.
So much stuff's going on.
Oh,
All our
thank God.
patience is paying off, Fionnuala.
Oh, is this part of your was this part of your nightmares, or should we just like go and just check it out and beat up whoever's there? Because I'm really up for that right now.
I don't remember any flashbangs going off in my dream, but I feel like we could probably go and investigate it, I guess.
Please.
All right.
So as you do this, timeline-wise, so Nicolo and Marale, you guys would not see the flashbang.
Again, completely forgetting she had an escort job or anything about that. He's like, yeah, we're going straight to the door, and you're staying with me because there are people behind us.
So as you go over to the door, and you try to go up to it, are you trying to get in? Are you trying to open it?
Is the door? I want to check to see if the door is now like locked.
As you go up to it, it doesn't seem to be locked. As you grab it and you try to jostle it, it moves slightly farther out of the frame than it should. But it does seem to, something's binding it from the other side now.
So we're gonna have to find another way in. We gotta go around the back.
It does, it's not intense. It just seems like, if you had to guess, something may have been put in the handle on the other side after they went in just to like bind it, like very like broomstick in the door kind of
like
thing.
a chair.
Yeah.
The only thing I can think of is either finding another way in, because again, don't have very great athletics and don't want to just start hacking at something in the middle of the night so that somebody inside hears. Or trying to jostle it from this side to see if I can get it to come loose. Could I try something like that? Could I like use my machete to like kind of like try to lift or jostle whatever is in the way?
As you'd use it and you try to pull and use it as leverage to try to wrench it open, you hear a cracking sound and then a bending, and your machete does suddenly come loose as you see what looks to be a metallic bar, like a thin one, that was hollow, had been wedged into the door and had kept it closed, and you didn't break it, but you did bend it enough that the door suddenly swings open with a relatively large crash. Around now, Arden and Fionnuala, you would reach the bottom, and you would see these two figures trying to break in, seemingly destroying the door.
Oh, I didn't see them before. I don't know. But there was a flashbang on the back. Do we go Do we go
should
talk
probably
to
go-
them?
Should we go check out where the flashbang came from?
Yeah, that seems a bit more, they seem to be preoccupied with that door or whatever.
Yeah, I think you know they're opening the door for us. So let's go see.
Yeah,
what the
let's let
sparkling
them
shit
do
was.
that.
They're gonna hate it whenever I lock it behind me.
So Gino, Angelo, and Emmanuel, you guys are recovering from this. As you do, as the magic fades from what you just did, you hear a crashing sound that sounds like something was jostled loose inside the building.
Did we do it? I think that sounded like we did it.
Did you open a door elsewhere on the building?
I could do that. I don't know, maybe.
We should go check it out.
I have no idea what this thing does.
I'm gonna carry him to the other side.
So Nicolo and Marilyn, you guys see some figures rush off to the left side of the building and seem to dart into the alley and away. And as they do, and as they come around the back, another side comes from off on the the right side of the building. This large, intimidating figure steps out as you both go counterclockwise, or clockwise, around... Wait, it would be...
I grab Maryland, we go in.
Yeah, clockwise. You both move clockwise around the building, switching positions as you guys
The
end up...
night security's here. I need to grab Maryland.
You guys duck inside?
Coño. Looks like all the crazies are out tonight, including us.
I'm gonna try to use my rope to tie the door on the other side.
Gino, Angelo, and Emmanuel, you come around the front of the building. This is way more of an escapade than I expected, but I'm totally here for this. You guys both duck in, close the door behind you, pull the curtain over as he begins tying the damaged handle to another protruding piece of metal on the wall, trying to keep it closed. Gino, Angelo, and Emmanuel, you come out to the front to see that nothing seems to have changed there. At the same time, Arden and Fionnuala, you come around to the back to see that there's absolutely nothing there. No damage, no signs of a spell, nothing really.
What the fuck?
Are you fucking kidding me?
No, I saw the flash. You saw the flash there, right?
No, I saw it. I'm just.
What the?
This is
Let's
totally
see.
a DMC.
I'm gonna try to open the door.
You grab it. Those inside, you see the shadow of a very large figure step out in front. Like, through the curtain, backlit by the streetlights, you see a massive figure walk up to the door, reach out and begin jostling it. Gino, Angelo, as you grab it, it seems to just kind of, as you casually grab it from your side and shake it, it seems to be open, but is stuck on something stopping it from opening. And as you just casually try to move it and shake it inside, the rapping, almost overwhelming sound of the door shaking, almost in a horror movie-esque fashion, begins to sound out, reverberating in the empty building.
Marley, hide.
Oh, I think it cracked it, but it didn't open it all the way.
Should I get my gun?
Look for like some random ass table or behind a curtain to just.
I'm gonna
push.
shoulder
So,
the door and try to
I'm
get
going
in.
to tell you guys what the first floor looks like as you get in. As you enter into the first floor, there is a brief, just narrow area that goes for about 10 feet in, and then it splits off with a hallway going down the right way and the left way. Down the left way, you see there's some lights that look like dim lights left on for probably an exhibit, but it looks like there's probably things from the actual exhibit to the left, whereas the right seems to just be an extending hallway. This place doesn't seem to have any actual like tables or furniture or anything in it, and you see that there's these walls that were set up that were clearly built for the purpose of creating more rooms in this place for the gallery.
Like Squeaky had said, if there's like a table or like anything like that nearby, like the opening, like we're just getting behind
There's
that.
no
like,
tables.
I have my gun at the ready. Oh no.
This is basically, this place has been
curtains.
built to be all walking space.
Behind the curtains.
Nicolo, for all intents and purposes,
I grab a
there is
lampshade and I throw
you
it on my head.
go to the side, pull a curtain over you, and then put your gun in front of you to arm yourself, but your arms are like sticking out from the curtain with the rifle in front of it, with the curtain just held between you and it. Gino, Angelo, so what are you trying to do to get in?
I'm trying to force the door open.
After a moment, it shifts, and with a visceral crack, the rope gives and the door slams open. The two of you can kind of see out to this figure standing in the doorway, again, a shadow against the lights of the lamps behind them, casting this long shadow into the building. Arden and Fionnuala, you guys hear another crash from the front of the building.
Oh, Looks.
Okay, let's go.
Sounds like they got in.
Let's go.
I'm just gonna start dragging Arden.
All right.
We're going. We're fucking going.
Okay.
All right, we should probably put that rope
I
back.
put my gun down. Like,
Oh yeah, let's close the door back up right here.
You did rip the rope.
I know. I am
You come out to the front of the building, Arden and Fionula, to find that everything is as you left it.
What's going on? Is this a dream? This is a nightmare. This is part of my nightmares.
I'm done. I'm going for it, and I'm just gonna start banging on the door.
So you're just trying to break it down?
Any luck?
No,
Can you get it open?
this door's made of fucking titanium or something.
I try opening the door, like, with the handle.
You grab it and try to pull it, and as you do, it once again gives. As you move it, and as you try to, like, shift it, the rope, once again being retied on it. As you move it, though, with all the trauma the door's taken, as you try to pull on it, it doesn't open the correct way, but you hear the almost unpinning sound, like a grenade, and then a creaking of metal as the other side of the door comes off its hinges and slumps down against the ground. And on the other side, you would see the imposing large figure of
Taller than the
a
door frame.
as a giant suit of demonic armor stands looking down at
pull
you.
out my glaive. Ah!
Well, I guess we're fucking doing this. It was a great sword.
This thing is bad news, Fionula! Get it! I pull out my glaive. It's like, you get out of here, you nightmare creature!
I will let you know that you immediately recognize, because of the organization you were previously with, you immediately recognize the rose pattern that is on his mantle, and also the same one that is on a little medallion that Emmanuel is wearing. You recognize it as the symbol of the Knights of Ulyssia, which you know to be a demon hunting organization from Europe. So you have some context
Fionula,
immediately.
run! I'm sorry for interrupting. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. I was just saying you would at least know the context of they normally don't go anywhere unless they're trying to do protecting mankind from demon-related activities.
I thrust my glaive forward, like as if to like try and stab him through the helmet, but like I stop right before it's about to hit. What the hell is the hellish-looking armor doing with the Knights of Ulyssia? Ulyssia.
None of your fucking business. Who are you?
I will look nervously at Fionula and then back to Gino. We have business here. What business do you have here?
What business do you have here?
You know, I don't really know.
Well, then it sounds like you don't have business here.
It's hard to explain. What's your business here before I stab this through your fucking helmet?
I would like to see you try it. But also, we're investigating demon things.
Police, get in the ground. I cast mold earth on the wall and make police.
If you're investigating demon stuff, I'm gonna have to stop you.
No.
No.
Yeah, I said it.
Niccolo.
Yeah, well, you make shitty cops.
What are you doing, Niccolo?
hearing about who these people are, seeing the baby with a gun, and probably noticing that I'm not very well hidden since he's pointing a gun at me. I will slowly start to make my way out of my hiding spot. I'm not going to hurt you. I need you to put away the gun.
I really don't wanna. I don't get to take it out a lot.
I feel like me and your friend are here for a similar reason. So maybe we could stop the people in front of you together. I'm here to investigate demonic activity as well.
I think they're doing what we're doing.
I'm going to duck behind Arden.
You want to lower that there stick, buddy?
You got no plans to destroy the world or at least the city, right?
No. Why would I do that?
Yeah, we're not allowed to do that.
You're not allowed to do that.
Yeah, we're supposed to die or something before other people. I don't know.
Huh.
Okay. All right now. Niccolo, what? I thought we were going to just fix the car.
Why are there so many people?
The car was an unexpected. I came to do this. I was going to take you to. Don't worry.
Hello.
You're so pretty!
Holy crap.
Oh my god!
Claro que sí, dígame que el mundo da vuelta. Anyway, hello. Just what is going on? Everyone here seems to be a party for some reason.
Well, listen. My friend was just looking for things because he was having nightmares and he was really scared, and we just wanted to see what was going on. And then there was a big explosion, and now there's all these, and you guys are trying to kill us, and you're Ulyssia, and I got.
Okay. Respira. Finally, someone with an explanation of some sort. Okay, look, we didn't think this through. This is partially my fault, but it's also partially his fault for not telling me.
I'm just gonna wander away.
So as you walk out into the area, real quick, you do pass by a source of light, and that there is a dim light, not a proper one, just like a, light for janitorial staff and whatnot on the night, that is on over an exhibit that is on an elevated platform in front of you. There is a podium upon which there is a stand that you see a long, it almost looks like a goat-like horn that twists farther forward than it should, except it's several times larger than it should be. Kind of looks like it has a stone-like appearance, but the patterns on it and where it's broken off, you can tell it's definitely made of like legitimate bone inside. And it is just sitting on top of this thing with a plate on it that just reads, a horn of unknown origin. You see there's a couple more exhibits leading down the hallway, and then a turn into a larger building off on the right where you are. Just from where you are, you can see the first exhibit that is off on the left walking down that hallway also has a light over it. It has an metal urn that has a series of cracks running down. It looks like it's shattered somewhat. And then far off to the north, there is a something very curious to you, especially with your childlike sensibilities, which is there is half of a massive pair of scissors sitting on another podium. Like, large enough that it could be used as almost... The half of the scissors is almost as large as Gino's greatsword.
I'm gonna put my sword away and I'm gonna try to follow him.
Emmanuel, as you move forward towards the scissors, you see that the other path beside you seems to just lead off again farther into a twisting area that just seems to walk around the exhibit. You can see on the map there's the way to go to your right, and then that also splits off into one hallway that several more exhibits exist down that way. They seem to wind around and be set up in such a way as for people to take tours and walk around them. Fionnuala and Arden, you would get a much stronger sense as you move by that the horn is definitely demonic. You can both kind of feel that vibe from it. As you moved by it, Merrily, you also got that vibe. The urn, as you move by it, Fionnuala, you recognize the metal it's made of and the pattern in the metal as... You don't know exactly where you've seen it, but you know that you've seen it before, and not in the human world.
I don't know how, but this.
And I'll just tap the urn.
I've seen this metal before.
You have?
It's not from here. It's from
Where'd you seen it?
a demony place.
Demony place, right. Of course. I know the place well.
Yeah,
Sort of
you
looking
know
back
that-
at them.
But it's not from here, so maybe it's a lead of some kind.
Maybe. The horn over there was pretty demony too.
I think there's gonna be a lot of that in here, maybe? I don't know. Everything just seems kind of demony, so I'm just
You
assuming.
two can notice that.
What? No. Yes.
Emmanuel, as you're looking at the suspended giant scissor handle, the cat that you often see just sort of phases in and glitters into existence on the top of it, standing on the loop, lets out an ethereal meow that the rest of you can't hear, and hops off, starts walking by you with some degree of interest in the area, and walks farther into the exhibit.
I'm just gonna start tracing after it.
The cat heads toward the larger exhibit in the center, but it moves at a very casual pace. It just seems to walk, looking at everything curiously as it moves by, letting out the occasional meow. If you follow it, it takes you to the center one. Looking at it, it's a semicircular area. There's some large steps leading up to an area where you see a large case. In the center, in the glass case that is at the center of this, you see there are these palm-sized, effectively crystals in vaguely ornamental star shapes. There appear to be 3 of them. One of them has this Lovecraftian-looking face where the tentacles on it wind down and spread out into the points of the star, but it is a dull gray. and the other two look like the faces of a demon contorted with horns coming out the sides to form the points of the stars. They're just sitting in a case, which is locked, elevated slightly on display, and they look like they're made of just translucent crystal until, Gino, as you step forward, you see a faint glow start within them, almost as if they're like trying to flicker on. This the Lovecraftian one looks like a little purplish glow lights up in it, and in the other two, this faint greenish, almost sickly light tries to flicker on, and then they start to have this very faint glow to them that pulses lightly as you approach.
Open that up.
Yeah, I think you should
like
try to
make
use
my
the
way
thing to
over
open
toward
it.
them.
Have you know I'm somewhat of an expert in opening things.
Oh yeah, I know. I saw it a minute ago.
It's only glass. As you fire it, you guys hear a gunshot in this enclosed space. It rings out. The bullet goes through the glass, shattering it. You see the lights above the exhibits flash and turn red as this happens. There's no like alarm that goes off immediately, but they all turn red one after another. The bullet sort of bounces around because of how close you fired it. Gino, you feel it kind of ting off one of your horns harmlessly as it stops. The glass is shattered and they are now available.
Pick up the
What
green
are the
one.
two of you doing? Someone came in just before us and they had a big dog, and you shouldn't be firing things like that right
There's
now.
a dog?
Yeah, it's some sort of demon dog or whatever.
Wait, is that what you saw, Arden?
Well, it's a weird fucking dog. I saw it go into like a light or
said that.
forgot to bring it up. But yeah, it's a weird looking dog.
Okay. But you think it's a demon?
Probably something along those lines, yeah.
Okay. Good to know.
Well,
Why
I was
are you
able to
shooting
slip into the
things?
cracks of the door and unlock it from the outside. I believe it is some sort of demonic being.
That's really cool. But also, why are you breaking everything?
I'm not breaking anything.
Not breaking everything, just this one
I'm the
thing.
one that said the thing. You're talking to me. Maybe you should.
Only two things have been broken, okay?
oi, big man.
What?
Mind if I take a look at the things you got there? I'm fairly well versed in my history.
He
He's
like
really, really smart.
looks you up and down. He pulls out the purple one and hands it over to him.
I would like to closely examine it. Maybe roll history or religion.
Roll me
See what I know about it.
religion. Oh!
Whoa!
This is a devil
gonna-
star.
Gotcha.
That said, when you take it, you especially know what a devil star is. These are demonic items that are used in the hells to revitalize both arcane energy or physical energy. The devil star in particular revitalizes the energy commonly used for spells and whatnot. They're alchemic. Some of them are used by infusing a small bit of a demon's soul into one, and some of them are just made using pure demonic energy.
Wow. It's a pretty fancy item here. It's a devil star. Oh.
Interesting. So the other one makes you feel healthier.
Right. Who can cast spells here?
Oh, right, I forgot. I clap my hands together and a rainbow sheen passes over me.
I ain't giving the little tyke a little fucking star with a devil on it.
Oh, no, I wasn't talking about that. I just needed to have my, this up. I'm gonna wave my hand and you see a bit of a shimmer on it. So in case I gotta kill you or something.
Child, what?
Anybody else?
What is your name?
I'm Emmanuel.
Man,
Okay. All right, Emmanuel. Let's not use our gun to open any more of the. We don't want those lights to bring any more people here. Okay?
you already set off a
Huh?
flashbang. If what I'm thinking was you guys.
I don't have any of those.
You set off a bright fucking flash.
Yeah, I
Can
did
you do
that.
for me,
Yeah,
Emmanuel?
and open a door.
If you want to be stealthy, Emmanuel, you can't. You want to be stealthy, right?
What nobody saw.
I'm seeing it right
Oh
now.
wow, you're
You
right.
don't count. You're complicit in
saw.
this.
You're right, Nino.
Saw your sparkles.
No. The child is perfectly right. Nobody saw. 5 nobodies saw.
Arden's
Well,
not,
somebody,
not a
Well,
nobody.
somebody else who deeper in here might have heard, is what I'm saying. So
There are other people here.
can we not shoot the gun until?
I agree with
To be
the
fair,
demon hater over there, whatever you are.
Damn it. What?
What?
Yeah, you're part of the Knights of Ulysses, right?
They just told me that's what I am now.
You're part of an organization that is notorious for hunting down demons. Are you not?
I mean,
I
I
guess.
guess.
I don't know. I mean, that's what they told me we're supposed to go get demon stuff, and that I'm not allowed to leave.
Yes, then that is exactly what that means. Then there is
Anyway,
a
what
man
else?
a little further in. We need to make sure that if he heard that, he ran off. Otherwise, we could be attacked. Your name,
Oh, me?
both of you.
Arden.
I'm sorry, which word you're-
Fionnuala.
and you, big man.
Yeah.
What is your name?
You can call me Gino.
And I know yours, Emmanuel.
We should really properly introduce ourselves.
Right. Niccolo.
Marilei.
Big man.
Pleasure.
Gino, sorry. Could you grab the scissor over there?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Is the
Seems
scissor
like you're
demonic?
the best person to grab something that.
It doesn't seem to be made. So there's kind of two levels of demonic feeling you get from anything here. One is the horn feels like it was part of a demon. Like looking at it, it gives you the vibe of being a demon. The rest of this kind of has traces as if they've been in contact with things of demonic origin. The scissors, for example, when you go over to take them, first of all, Gino, when you lift them up, they actually feel very lightweight compared to what you were expecting. They also don't, because of the weight of them, they actually don't feel like they'd be a very strong weapon if used as a sword. Certainly not a great sword. They would be useful, and you could swing them, but it feels like most of the utility of this weapon was in if there were two halves together, it is the sheer cutting power of it versus the actual use as a blade. But as you pick it up, it's lightweight. That one gives off the latter feel. It's a bit weaker. Feels like it was perhaps in contact with or owned by a demon. Pretty much everything in here gives that off. The only things that feel very strongly are the stars, obviously. They feel the most demonic and seem to actually react to you guys approaching them, and the demonic horn.
I don't know what any of your goals are with this, but I think it might be best if we figure out who this man is, go further in. If there's any problems, we take care of it, and then we take these things out of here. And anything else we find.
Sure. I don't
Well,
mind sticking around.
This is much better than the rooftop, Arden.
Yeah, I agree.
Marley, as they're all saying this, you hear the very light like of something hydraulic moving, and you casually glance up towards the corner of the area, and you see a security camera slowly strafing across the area.
Okay, so, Nicolo, tú me quieres, ¿verdad? You
Looks
love me,
over.
right? There's a cute little curious thing right over there. Just take a good little look, okay? But don't let it see me.
With how it's moving, you do get the sense that, though you just noticed it, this thing has been looking at the entire area for quite some time.
And we must find the security room.
Why? What's wrong with the security room?
You guys enter into the back. You open up the doorway that leads into the rest of the area. It is not locked, since it is assuming that, nobody would be getting in here after hours. There is a set of metal doors that resemble an elevator, except this looks like a cargo elevator as you move by it. It's much larger. You can tell by the doors it's meant to help things get to the other floors. And there's a set of stairs going up to the next level, and a set of stairs going down to the level below, to the basement. The stuff that they're holding below that is supposedly more convincing to convince people to help fund the continued expedition, which is basically the point of this whole place. That one is the downstairs one, which people are only allowed into if they pay in a certain amount. All you know of it is that Takumi Roland, the archaeologist who is behind this place, considers what is down there to be so impressive and so interesting that whoever goes in there would absolutely want to fund the continued research into this. Whereas all this other stuff is kind of just the public interest finds. As you find your way down the floor down here, the floor is made of a cold metal that appears to have been plated onto it. The lighting down here is much dimmer. You see one door down here, which is a large double-paned glass door that has a metal frame wrapping around it, but you can see through it. There is a series of locks, like more heavy-duty locks appear to have been built onto it, keeping it in place. You can see through it, however, to see that on the other side there is a hallway that the glass somewhat blurs what's on the other side of it, so you can't see too far down, but you can see there is some kind of other exhibit down there. There's brighter lights, and you can see the vague rectangles of like monitors, glowing monitors inside. The whole place seems to be much darker, as if it's trying to care for the light and not overexpose anything. The hallway is off to your the east. Seems to twist up back in the way the elevator was.
Upon just seeing that there's monitors down there, that immediately piques my interest.
Looking in, you do see whatever figure's inside. The outline, the blur of a figure that appears to be wearing black and red. Mostly their silhouette is dominated by red that's being illuminated by the monitors, which by the way are kind of more up on the ceiling looking down. You do see that in their hand there is some long object that's about 2 feet-ish long that they're holding and moving around and inspecting that appears to be glowing as if responding like a heartbeat. There's this demonic aura pulsing across it. As you go to try to open it, you do wiggle it and you find that it does appear to be locked.
Cool. Well, I'll use my key here. And he pulls out his greatsword.
Striking it, you break through most of it. The greatsword doesn't completely take it down, but it does slash through chunks of the glass, through which, as you guys, Arden, as you're standing, you see a chunk of the glass falls away and crashes, and you can see in through the door. You find yourself go breathless for a moment when you recognize the figure that's standing inside. You recognize a figure that you would know by the name Layden Stratum. You can all see him relatively clearly inside, looking at these 3 exhibits that are in there. You see that the way it seems to be set up is there's 3 alcoves inside. Each one has several monitors on the walls that are showing different parts of both the outside of this building and they appear to look to where the security cameras were. There's 3 glass cabinets with different things inside of them. You can't make them out immediately, but you do see he's holding what looks to be the scabbard of a sword, and that is what this demonic energy seems to be pulsing through. And as you shatter the door, as you see this middle-aged man carrying what looks to be a glaive with a blade made of glass that, as you see light reflecting through it, you see that it appears to be containing a blood-like liquid inside of it, and you see a trigger on it. And notice that the glaive is both a rifle and a glaive. He's wearing a cloak that has red feather-like protrusions that seem to shift uncomfortably on their own, even without wind. Messy white hair, bookish glasses, and overall a very tired look on his face. And as you shatter the glass on the door, this figure doesn't actually seem surprised or to regard you. He's just looking at this scabbard that he's holding in one hand and turning it and inspecting the different sides of it. Then slowly turns over towards the door, notices the lot of you, and you see a curious smile seem to cross his face as he turns and walks farther in and up the steps of one of the exhibits.
So the door's not completely off, right?
No, you shattered some of the glass in it and could see through, but the metallic frame stopped it from being opened all the way, but you did damage it heavily.
Here comes another.
Round the second!
You might not want to do that.
As you hit it, you strike it and take the door off its hinges. As you do, the door gets blown back and in towards him. You see this figure aims the glaive up to the side of him, and you hear him pull a trigger, and the remnants of the door that got thrown towards him split and go to either side of him as the bullet from the glaive seems to separate the wreckage.
We don't want to fuck with that guy.
Someone you know, Alden?
Yeah, I do know him. Not much, but I know him.
Are you okay?
We won't be if we mess with him. He's got a devil arm.
Do I know what a devil arm is?
You would very much know what a devil arm is.
Oh no.
You would absolutely know that devil arms are the weapons and artifacts left over, either things that were created by powerful demons, though more commonly they are the essence of a demon left behind, either because the demon recognized that the person it was fighting was stronger than them and conceded to them, or because they were entirely subjugated. It is a demon turned weapon.
Might not want to mess with him.
This is up to you, whatever you want.
As he stands with his hands still pointed out towards where he shot the wreckage of the door in half, he slowly lowers the glaive, and it comes to rest at his side. He's holding it by the rifle handle part of it as opposed to the extending handle, and takes a very long second to look out at all of you, clearly in no rush to do much of anything. Arden, as you step forward and come into view, his eyes flicker with a brief moment of recognition, but no extreme reaction. I didn't think I'd be seeing you. Not here.
You know, and everyone was presumed dead. It was a bit foolish of me to think you were among the dead.
What business do you have here, Arden Doyle?
Frankly, I'm not entirely sure. I got a feeling to come here. I didn't know I'd be meeting you.
Right. A feeling. Humor me for a second, Arden. Did you perhaps have a nightmare?
I might have. Why? What do you know?
That's cruel. He looks towards the scabbard and he throws it. This relatively uninteresting looking scabbard, still glowing with this almost like pulsating scale-like energy that seems to just crest along it, disappear, then crest back along it, as if the scabbard is deconstructing and reconstructing. It just slides down to the middle of both of you as if he'd lost interest in it. Then it would seem we're to be played against one another. That's overwhelmingly cruel, but no matter. You guys feel a brief rumble as the ground under your feet seems to shake.
What's happening?
He looks to the lot of all of you. Those of you that have a demonic origin, that being Marley, Gino, Fionnuala, and Arden, you all get this overwhelming sense as if something dangerous, just on an instinctual level, something massive was around you. You can't quite describe it. It's just this primal instinct to survive some great calamity comes over you. You see behind him, it seems to be coming from basically all around you. You see off behind him the exhibit that he's standing at the bottom of the steps for. You see that the glass container behind him, which is badly lit, a suit of armor inside seems to begin glowing. The seams in it, in the same way that the seams in Gino Angelo occasionally glow, they seem to begin glowing this faint red, and he looks back towards it. There seems enough demonic energy's been brought together that the artifacts here are recognizing home. That's fortuitous. Maybe that's why you were brought here. Interesting. Come closer, all of you. You're scaring the items.
Stranger danger.
What do you want to do?
Prefiero no acercarme. I don't think we have a choice.
We need to do what he says.
He puts his hands out. As any of you take a step forward, he seems to put his hands out to the side in a very welcoming gesture. You do get a very sinister vibe off of him. The moment you step closer in, you see the armor that is in that case, which was propped up as if to be held up because it couldn't stand on its own. The glass shatters as one of its hands breaks out, and it reaches with a claw towards Layden from behind him as if it's trying to grasp towards him. Been a while since you felt demonic energy, hasn't it? I had hoped this wouldn't be so complicated. But... Arden!
Aye.
Are you ready to learn where you came from? A very large show is about to begin, and I can't imagine that the opening act is going to kill you. So, sit back and learn about the pits of hell that you were dragged from. You guys see on the monitors, you see one of them is depicting things outside. One of them is security cameras that are aimed out towards the city. And you see a strange cloud on these monitors that are colorized effectively entirely blue. You see what looks like a large cloud erupt from the center of Carpenter City. And it's difficult to I'd like you all to roll perception checks to see if you can tell from where you are exactly what's on them.
Ooh.
You guys see what looks to be a large cloud of some kind of debris, of what looks like smoke on the screens, emerge from the center of town, large enough that, despite the fact that the angle is from quite far away, this skyscraper-sized talon that seems to be made of metal seems to emerge and erupt from the middle of the city. As it does, the monitors begin flickering and the lights begin flickering after it, and you see the armor grasping more violently in the dark and the flickering lights towards Layden, who just has his hands out and closes his eyes as if welcoming what's happening around him. You see the scabbard on the ground, which, Fionnuala, there's a familiarity to it. Something about the kind of demonic energy that this scabbard's giving off is to you familiar and almost inviting. But when it's happening, as it seems to react, and as you look at it, you see it starts pulsing more intensely. A large crack erupts and splits the ground between the lot of you. Not enough to distort the area, but just splits the ground underneath you, forming a rip, and you see it slowly tearing open as the basement seems to begin falling apart. You see on the monitors this talon erupts. And again, like a skyscraper in size, just sits in the middle of Carpenter City. And you see a similar eruption on these cameras pointed out towards the other cities across the bay, as there seems to be a similar eruption in APOM Capital. And then all the lights of the city go dark instantly. And then all the lights of New Cheshire across the bay also go out. As it does, everything is still for a moment. And then this wave of, again, what looks like smoke, but after a second you can tell is effectively a blizzard, escapes and erupts out from the Talon. And as it sweeps over the camera, you feel an earthquake begin to sweep over the area as well, as what's going on up above you catches up with the basement. And that crack in the ground violently shifts, spreads out like a web across the area, and the building begins to fold in on itself.
I'd like to try to dart forward and grab the scabbard and, like, pull Arden out of here.
You dart forward, you grab it. As soon as you do, it calms down. But you get this brief flash of, in your head, of, like, this demonic energy, this pulse. You detect that it was fear. The scabbard appeared to be reacting to things that were around it that frightened it. And when you take it, you can tell that the things that frightened it are Layden and Arden. In this moment where the signal ends, but it kind of courses through you, you can tell that it was calling to something to retrieve it.
What are you doing?
There's no point in fighting here. Besides, I believe this might be good for you as well, Angelo.
He puts his hand out, you see energy crackle along it, he puts his hand up, and this flash of energy rockets towards the four of you. He does so with very little effort. Marley, you have the good sense that when this happens, you duck in behind the wall and get away from it. It misses you entirely. It hits the rest of you, it crits Fionnuala.
No!
Fionnuala, it strikes you, and you are once again knocked out as he does this attack, and all of those around you are struck by it, Arden. Things almost seem to slow down, as if it looked like he was trying to clear everybody around you out. You, like, look towards him as Fionnuala is blasted a bit up into the air and back, just barely avoiding death by massive damage. Just barely! As these bolts of energy strike them, and you see these arcane purplish crests of energy that leave behind in the air these ethereal purple feathers as they strike, push everybody around you back.
We're the only ones that need to be here for this, Arden.
You feel a crack separate under your feet, and the ground seems to separate, and the middle of the area, it heaves upwards, as if the building is folding in on itself.
They're unimportant. You stay alive until the end, until he decides what's going to happen to you.
Hey.
There is a large eruption, as the last thing you see before the monitors completely die out is creatures coming in the blizzard that seems to have been pushed out, and from this large talon that came out of the ground. Creatures moving. You see this massive form in the bay, this colossal creature, its fin coming up over the water as the monitors one by one go off, each one showing a creature on it as they vanish. One showing this knight-like figure, standing, carrying a blade with a rose upon the end of it, as it flickers out. Another showing a feminine figure emerging from the blizzard, a large whip-like protrusion that seems to have a mind of its own on one of its arms, whipping around them, and it flickers out. Similar images appear on all of them. Dust and smoke erupt from the separation in the earth, and you all lose track of the space around you. As the earth gets tossed and turns, and this earthquake that's happening rips apart the area, as the earth gives way, you all fall, and after a couple moments of the ground shifting and battering you all around, and all of you trying to carry your tiny buddies, you all find that you're shifted, slide down a slope of earth, crash through several what appear to be like mesh grates as you feel you're now below the city streets. And then, as you are sliding down towards what looks like a large underground reservoir, you can see water in the distance as you have entered into some large underground tunnel. Water as far as you can see in the darkness that initially is viscous and liquid. But after a second, through these large tunnels in the side of the chamber you're in, mist pours in and down from the outside and seems to instantly freeze it solid. At this point, you can see the most solid thing you can, Emmanuel, which is the ice that you're all hurtling towards as it seems to be immediately frozen solid. As you go towards it, I'd like you to cast whatever you're doing with your ring. Your cat appears and like runs down your arm and leaps forward towards the ice as you cast it. You use slow, and as you do, it creates an area where the magic doesn't, this ice doesn't actually freeze over as quickly. Also, the brief blast of the magic forming causes you all to fall just slow enough that you hit the slushy water, and you do not immediately take damage from the fall. You are all pushed down towards down underneath the water towards a drain, that you can see the ice that you're in, the water that you're pushed under, begin freezing solid as it seems to chase after you. You're pushed down, enter into a drain, and after a solid 30 seconds of this water trying to catch up with you, freezing as it's going, you are dropped into a subterranean chamber where you hit a grate, the water leaves the ice, the mist chasing you doesn't seem to catch up with you, and you are left wet and cold in this dark tunnel underground, what looks to be just like some sort of sewer service tunnel.
5 minutes?
5 minutes.
I would like to roll in a medicine check on Fionnuala.
Go for it. You immediately get up and start trying to tend to the wounds that they have.
Gino's gonna put Manny down, and he's gonna walk over to Fionnuala, and he's gonna crush the green star over her.
Fionnuala, you cough up ice-cold water. You are now conscious as...
As soon as like she starts to regain consciousness, I will just grab her and hold her. Are you alright?
Yeah. Are you okay?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Who was that?
That was someone we don't want to mess with.
I
He's
think
not
it's someone
here,
I
right?
really want to mess with.
You don't. The man's dangerous.
What's
If
wrong
he
with
caused
him?
all this, then he's someone that needs to be dealt with.
Probably kill
This
us all pretty
destruction was
easily
not
as we
enough
are.
for one devil arm.
Just from what I saw through like the monitors and what I'm looking at now, does this seem familiar through like my nightmares?
The blizzards, demons roaming in the streets and such seems consistent with what you saw.
Arden,
Yeah.
those big talons, that's how I got here. Not the same ones, but kind of like those.
Seems like hell literally froze over.
That's kind of where they're from. The frozen bit.
With him saying that, Fionnuala, I will also note to you that the conditions you're currently in, the freezing cold, the almost living mist that has come over this place, these are the conditions of the Frost Hells. Like, this is what it's like where you came from.
This place looks like home now. All the ice and mist and stuff.
Huh.
With that being the case, looks over toward Arden and Fionnuala. The three of you should stay with me.
Why?
Whatever's happening around you, it's gonna draw attention, but if the three of you go too far, people will be looking for you, and you don't want to have them find you,
Probably.
especially since you're so tied into this.
I mean, you can trust Niccolo. He's been able to hide me for quite a while.
What?
I
Until
barely
now.
know you both. Sorry for, if that sounds harsh.
Oh no, that's actually very understandable. I mean, I wouldn't trust me either after first meeting me.
We might be the only people you can even trust at this point. There may not be anyone left.
I feel like we should try to get above ground.
Are you guys married?
Married? No, you think I'd marry him?
Oh, you're talking about cars and stuff.
Fucking burn.
It's complicated.
She's my roommate.
Oh,
We live together, yeah, that's it. Nothing. We're just friends, nothing else.
okay.
And nothing.
Sure, wink.
And nothing more.
And what are you two, if you're going to be so nosy?
He's my big or little brother. I don't know.
I
We're
mean, I
not
meant those
bigger,
two, but
but-
okay.
Oh, okay.
Well, they were the ones
He's
that
my
asked,
best
us,
friend.
so.
Well, we've only known each other a couple weeks, but yeah, best friend. Kind of sums it up.
Yeah, kinda.
Aye.
Interesting.
You're interesting.
Oh, thank you.
Got him.
You should see me at my shows.
Oh, you perform? What do you
don't
do?
want to see her at your shows.
I mean, there is a child in our midst.
I really want to see what
There's
your show's
two.
about.
Ooh, maybe we can go sometime when this is all not icy and shit.
Maybe, but he can't come. Point to Emmanuel.
I think that's pretty rude.
It's not because I don't want him to. It's the
You
no, I
want
don't
him
want
to?
you
That's
to.
what it sounds like.
It's the law.
I've been in scary movies a bunch of times.
Right, but it's illegal for you to go where she's going.
Yes, of course.
Is it
that's
that
the reason.
scary?
No,
Yeah.
just you need to
Aye.
wait a little bit. Of how old are you?
Well, I'm 13.
5 years.
That's like forever.
No, it's not. It'll pass quicker than you think.
Anyone need any more time, or should we go?
I'm ready to go. What about you?
I'm fine.
As you guys are moving, the icy grate that's up above your head, the one where you guys came down, the water basically froze just after you. So the water, like this solid pillar of water that you would have come down through, has basically frozen into just a solid cork in this massive drainage pipe above you.
So, like, how did you guys meet? I'm just really curious, and I feel like I'm kind of at home right now, so I'm pretty cozy. So, how'd you guys meet?
He tried to kill me.
No, let's hear the
Why
story.
would you? No, why would you try to kill her?
He was such a big fan and enamored with me. He was like, if I can't have you, Marilei.
You can't
No
tell
one can.
some. You can't
Wow.
tell some truth and
Romantic.
then lie immediately after.
Oh, but it's okay if you do it.
Ah,
That's really romantic.
I did not lie to you.
Oh, that's adorable.
I did
Oh
not
my
lie to
God.
you. I didn't tell the truth.
And so he whisked me away from Spain. He said, come, Marilei. I will take you away, and no one can ever find us. And
I
then
was
he took
told
me
she
to
was
live.
a powerful. Told she was a powerful, dangerous demon. It turns out she's just obnoxious.
And then he took me to live in a dump.
We have to hide.
I lived in a penthouse.
What? Don't you get this?
I lived in the lap of luxury in a beautiful penthouse in Spain, con todas mis cosas y mis disfraces.
She
y
drew
mis
too much
zapatos.
presents to herself. She had people after her. She's
I
lucky
had-
it was me who came after her.
I had a lot of customers and I was very popular, and then you came around and you ruined everything.
Hold
What?
on. Why were
Did
people
you
after
kidnap
you?
her?
No.
Why were
no,
people
no,
after
no,
you?
no, no, no,
Question.
no. I will be fair. I will be fair to you, Niccolo. You didn't kidnap me. You said I don't want to kill you, so let's go somewhere else.
I'm pretty sure that's kidnapping.
Yeah, I think that's good.
It was either that or he kills me. I didn't want to die, but I also didn't want to leave all my nice things.
If I did not kill her, then we would. I could not
It's-
return without killing her, and if I would have, I would have been killed, and then she would have been killed as well. I worked with a group of people who knew of her existence because she was not hiding it at all.
How was I supposed to know that I'm apparently half succubus?
Oh, that's why you're hunting her. All right.
I was part of the Order of the Sword, and these are the people we should not be talking too much about, that we should be being away from. And those are the
Right.
people who are probably going to come here and look for the two of you as well.
I've heard of the Order of the Sword. A little bits and pieces.
They're like a mob.
Yeah, they're like a mob.
You do know
Similar
that they're cult-like. They worship an obscure, powerful demon as if it were a god.
So what's your relation to the Order of the Sword now? You seem to have,
I'm
disobeyed
trying
their
to
orders.
I'm trying to cut all ties. I saw that she was not dangerous, but I knew that if I did not kill her, then they would come after her and me, so we left for America.
So how do you feel about them now?
Right now, I want nothing to do with them. I thought they were one thing, and they turned out to not be. I thought I was doing the right thing, but as soon as I saw her, I could not kill her. Okay, that's
He was-
it. That's it.
He was enamored with my belleza.
She was like a small dog, and I did not want to assault.
She doesn't seem small.
You could have,
Y'all
you
are
should have
cute.
seen what he saw me in. It was so ravishing. He looked at me. It was like he fell in love, and then he broke everything.
Wow.
I like her.
How are you gonna pay her back?
Marile,
What?
are you alive?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I paid her back.
She just went from fake crying money yeah.
As you guys are continuing to walk, you find the area that you're in appears to be service tunnels that are probably connected, you figure, to the sewers in the city. But they are very old, and they're well maintained enough, but it's a lot of metal drainage pipes and like grating and large chambers that were clearly used for drainage. But as you move through, you see that they've basically all been frozen solid, as if the water moving through them that had been cascading through them was frozen immediately without even a chance to settle. You guys do, as you are moving along, you come to a very large chamber that looks like a very large pit that was used for drainage, but on both sides of this large chamber, the massive pipes that would empty out into it have just become waterfalls of ice that pool into a large pit that is itself about 20 feet down from you, has just basically become a large skating rink. Passing over it from where you guys are, there's a graded bridge, just like a service bridge that moves across it. And looking up, you see icicles hanging down from the ceiling. The general situation of the city appears to be that it's been thoroughly frozen solid. As you guys go across this, is there any precautions you want to take when doing so? As you step on it, Gino in particular, when you put your weight on it, you hear a creak from the entire bridge and see a couple bits of ice detach from the bottom of it and clatter down below.
Maybe, you all go across first, how about that?
Yeah, this seems easy enough.
I'll see if anything's on the other side.
As you go across, it does creak under your feet, and a couple of bits of the metal that the bridge is made of seem to actually snap off, as if they froze to the point of themselves, having the rigidity and brittle nature of ice. However, you do manage to get basically all the way across without anything major happening. A couple of times passing under the large icicles that are hanging down from the ceiling, you do worry that they could fall at any time, but they don't seem to react to you. No.
Probably go one at a time.
Yeah, I'll go.
As you go across, the bridge shifts slightly under your weight as you do. As you get around to the middle, Fionnuala, as you guys are moving across this bridge suspended 20 feet over the pit, as you guys cross over it, you hear a bit of ice fall from up above you, Fionnuala, and clatter down in front of you. And then you hear this almost clicking, growling sound coming from above you. Instinctively looking up, you see among the darkness, wrapped around and slightly embedded in one of the icicles, what looks like a long snake-like creature, that the front part of which separates out into these 4 little tendrils with a beak between them, almost indistinguishable from the terrain above you. Sitting, you only see it quick enough to be aware that it drops down on you. As it falls, you guys see this creature come down and bite into Fionnuala as it flails its beak, digging into Fionnuala. It's not quite the size of a person, but it is quite long and entirely foreign in nature. Those of you that are here, you'd immediately recognize this is a demon. This shouldn't be here.
Okay. I guess I'm gonna tell it that it fucking smells. Gilipollas de mierda, coño. Okay, there we go. We'll use the vicious mockery.
It is gonna nat 1 is what it's gonna do. Arcane energy rakes across it. It like contorts slightly as it's affected by the psychic energy. What's up, Arden?
Oh.
Fionnuala's once again in distress.
Ah, fucking damn it! Alright, I'll fucking whip out my goddamn pistol and shoot him in the face.
You fire, it hits part of the bridge. When it does, a chunk of the bridge breaks off like ice.
Fionnuala, are you okay?
Sure.
Ah, what a lie.
I am going to draw my sword, and I'm gonna murder it.
Go for it. Do it a murder.
I'm gonna use my machetes because I want there to be another body here for this thing to go to attack instead of this small demon girl.
You strike it. It resists down the damage to 5.
I'm gonna hit it again.
Oh my god!
Jesus!
Well, I can only get one. So.
Oh my goodness!
Hi-ya.
And then you would have had enough.
Yeah.
I think, if I recall.
As part of that critical hit, could I basically slash him and then maybe kick him a bit before I slash him? Basically just trying to be agitating toward this guy?
Sure. You go up to it, you slash upwards, it cuts it and it rakes backwards, it leaves itself exposed. You bring up your knee and strike it, and then you bring the blade down on it again. It launches at you, attacking you with its tentacles. It should not have had... Oh, it should have had disadvantage. It misses you. As it lashes forward, they dig into the bridge, and they cut through the ice, and as it tries to pull itself back, it gets stuck. And then it rips up part of the bridge, and for a second... There's no effect. Then you hear the slow cracking of ice, the bending of metal, and the middle of the bridge lets out. and shatters. Both sides droop inwards, and the bridge effectively becomes a slide. I'd like a dexterity save from everybody. So, Gino Angelo, you're the only one. As it strikes down and as the bridge falls, it becomes effectively two slants that lead to both sides of the chamber. Everybody finds themselves falling down into the section below, and the Grick, you see it like dig into part of the ice and disappear as you all fall. You are all thrown basically around in the center because you all slide down that way. Gino, everybody else kind of lands gracefully, hitting the ground and like some superhero landing, some merrily like jumps off a piece of the ice as they fall and lands very elegantly. And then you guys just see Gino's body come tumbling down and just hit the ice.
We all land.
Like a bowling ball. Fianula?
Oh boy. I'd like to try to make a perception check to see if I might be able to spot where it burrowed down.
Okay.
Whee!
You look around, you swear you hear some movement from it, but you can't tell if that's just the ice settling. You do not manage to locate it. Emmanuel?
Get him, tiny child.
So I'm gonna do it last time I didn't see an enemy. I'm already lightning lure. We'll run over here. If I see it within range, I will cast it up.
Gotcha. Gino?
Okay, I'm gonna get up.
I'm gonna get right here, and I'm gonna hold my action for whenever, if the thing comes in range of Manuel.
Okay, so first thing, I want to give a bardic inspiration to somebody. I'm going to give it to Arden. You get it. Then, just in case I might need my spell slots, I'm going to use up one of these little devil star majiggers.
You use it, you regain magical energy. That'll have to be your action to use it, because you used your bonus action to give a bardic inspiration.
That's completely fine.
Okay.
How did Squeaky inspire him?
It's like, hey, quesito, and then mwah, blows him a kiss.
Oh.
She only just called you little cheese.
He thinks it's something way hotter. Like, it's like, oh my god.
I'm not gonna tell
She
him.
called me her little something.
She sure did, buddy.
It's its turn. It's gonna pop out and attack Gino! As it comes up, it strikes you, binds into you with its tentacles. You feel the little claws on the end of them trying to reach into the armor, trying to find some flesh to, like, scrape out, but it doesn't manage to. Since it hit you, it can now also attack you with its beak. Wow, it did minimum damage on all the dice it rolled. It rolled 3d6 and got 1s on all of them. Going down the list, Lightning Lure. It succeeds.
Bang, bang, bang. I'm gonna use a style point. Bang, bang.
I will say for that shot, since you use 2 style points, you fire at it. It, like, goes by it, but it, like, ricochets off a piece of ice behind it and comes back and strikes it from behind.
Okay, I'm a hurt bitch, so I'm not going to get in close to it right now, so I'm going to use my revolver that I took out, and I'm going to take a shot at it.
Okay, go for it.
Pachoo!
That is absolutely a hit.
Yay! And ka-chunk!
It lets out this rather unpleasant sound as it, like, reels back. Looks like it's trying to escape from you guys at this point.
I'm gonna fucking bonus action second wind myself, because fuck it. And then I'm gonna slice.
So you bring the great sword up with both hands, bring it down into it, and you cut into it as you do it. Slices it right down the center and lets out a resounding clong as it slices into the ice below you. As it does, the two halves fall to the side, and like a pool of blood begins to form. A second passes, cracks of ice begin to expand out from where you strike the ground.
Time to go!
Yep.
Great job, everybody.
Everybody book it.
Not again.
I definitely helped. Don't worry about it.
Oh yeah, you super did. All right, let's go.
You were too busy getting that smooched at, you know?
The cracks begin to slowly spiderweb out from where he hit.
I'll try to go. I'll try to go
Noting-
not run too fast.
Okay, as you move over there, as you get up onto the slanted piece of the bridge that was extended down and begin trying to climb up it without sliding back, I'd like you to please roll me a dex or an acrobatics check.
I
Climbing
jinxed
up,
it.
you manage to get onto it, but do not manage to move any farther up it.
Alrighty then. Well, I'd like to start running up that there thing.
I'd say that with that, you manage to properly get up onto the part where it begins to slope back up, so you are safe at the top.
I'm gonna get behind Marley and I'm gonna help her up and try to help her get pushed up closer.
I'm going to try to scramble up after Arden.
You run up and
grab her
rather
hand as
easily
she
you manage to,
comes up.
rush up. Arden grabs your hand, pulls you up the rest of the way. Emmanuel?
Let's try and get to there.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be on the next.
You slide
Guys.
back down another 10 feet after you get up to that point.
Okay. I'm gonna get over and basically do what Nicola's doing, but for Manny. Can I pick him up
Benefits of
and
being a
climb?
tiny.
Yes. As at the top of the turn, you guys see the cracks spreading out more, and you see the chunk where Gino hit the ground collapses inwards into effectively a void down below the ice. The hole opens up and begins collapsing farther in.
Okay, so I will try again to go forward.
Rushing up, you get up to the top, you rush forward, grab onto Arden's glaive, he retches and pulls you up.
Ay, quesito.
Nicola, you get up again. You grab onto the glaive, and he pulls you up, leaving Gino and Emmanuel down there. All right, Emmanuel, are you doing anything or waiting for Gino to
I
move?
cast Ray of Frost at the place where it's breaking.
All right.
Oh.
You do so. You refreeze the edges of it, filling in some of the cracks. It looks like the weight of the ice itself is still causing the damage to spread, but you slow it down.
I'm gonna keep climbing.
You do manage to rush up. As you rush up, initially you find yourself being cautious, but as it begins to collapse in around you and expands out, and you feel the bridge beginning to buckle and move down, you start just pushing your feet through the bridge to make footholds as you go, bending the metal inwards, and you rush up, dive as it collapses. You hear one massive cracking, and the entire pit collapses inwards and falls into a void, with the loose parts of the bridge collapsing and falling in after them.
All right.
Hurry up, slowpokes!
With that happening, with that crashing down and collapsing inwards, I think I'm gonna say let's call it there for this week.